And we're live with another Crone's Crucible with the team stuck deep into the creepy Amber Temple. We will see what goes on tonight. I will warn the viewers on the live stream or on YouTube that I have a husband who is having a great many problems with allergies well in the background. And you will probably hear some earth-shattering sneezes at some point during the evening. It will be interesting. We'll see what goes on. Anyway, last week they snuck into the Amber Temple very cautiously, checking around to see what was going on, wound up resting for a bit, finding a place to rest, and then decided as they saw some light coming from under one of the amber doors inside, just inside where they'd been resting for a little bit, they noticed some light coming from under the door, and they decided to swing the doors open and see what was in there. And they found a bunch of burly-chested males, very berserkerish looking males, and a large dire wolf who were settling down, camping. There was a campfire and various things in this room. And they were all settled down, not asleep, but somewhat taken by surprise as the door comes crashing open. And the group stares them down. Is there anything that you guys want to do before you start what is going on for the night? Any plans, any statements about what you've got or spells or anything else?
Just to reiterate that Sangzor is kind of looming behind Dirac.
Yes, Sangzor has pulled, or Dirac has pulled Sangzor, his goat, that he has tamed, along with him on this. He wouldn't let Sangzor just wander around the halls, so Sangzor is right behind him as they go in. So, and he is carrying that blood spear that he's got as well.
Does their like markings or anything about them look familiar?
They are dressed similarly, but there don't seem to be tribal markings on this group, except for the fact that they all have like one black stripe on their right shoulder. Other than that, there's no markings on them, and they are dressed very similarly to the humanoids that you saw up on Yester Hill.
Would I have recognized any kind of marking from the berserkers from Yesterhill? That black mark on the shoulder?
Although they look very much the same, you do not recall the like revenant type one that you were fighting up there. You don't recall them having that same black mark.
Okay.
Good evening, gentlemen.
And immediately, warning, this is DM monologue incoming, so hold on, everybody. They scramble to their feet and start grabbing spears and swords, very startled as they do it. And as they rise, they can see Dirac behind them and the goat behind him. And you suddenly get this flood of native tongue. Going to do my best. Talos! Nea Uthgar! Uthgar! Nilva! Imstirken! Musen Talos Dakupten! Kamed ben Sangzor! Kana Irken Bay! Althir Irken ben Doda! Uthgar Bayanus Tosten! And then they stare at each other for a few moments, and they all kneel towards Dirac, and suddenly the door that's in front of you, Ippotus, swings shut in your face. Give me a dex save.
A dex save?
Yes, only that door. You take 1 bruising damage as the door
It hurts my pride.
as the door smacks you in your nose, and out from behind the door had been a little bit hidden by the door and you hadn't been able to see her, steps a burly female. And she is staring more at the others than she is at you. She kind of gives you a snooty glance as she looks towards the almost closed door. And then she stares at the others and she yells at them, "'Tis not fanen! Ver bodorde at leida bata auril, fara va venten ise, asunder va korpan." She kind of hesitantly turns around and she shakes her spear at Dirok, and it's got rattles on it, and she's like kind of threatening him, and she approaches slowly towards him, step by step, not quite sure. "Dro ist irk, zwei komst, bes da kumpinski od inman." And suddenly the sun sword at your side and the blood spear in Dirok's hand both begin to talk to you. And let me do something here.
We have sidekick.
Oh God.
Dirok, you can already see it. If you go into player handouts text, you will already see it, and I'm going to add, once it'll allow me, I'm going to add Hippotus as well, because I realized that the sword would also be able to understand it. So let me put him on the permissions here.
So, start of this whole game, Hippotus gets a snoop boop. Question for the DM: given Sylvia's learned history with books, knowledge, and travels, would she recognize the language?
Give me a history roll.
Alright. Nope.
Nope. You
Trust
don't
you, intellect.
recognize this. Your ear kind of it almost sounds like something, but it's not quite what you think you have heard or read before. It's a little different. Something's wrong. All right, so Dirok and Hippotus, you understood. Did you get it?
Where is I don't see a handout.
Click on player handouts. Text handouts.
Excuse me.
And you should be able to see Uthgard translation.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what language it was. I don't think I actually have that under my language proficiencies. Which
okay, could I do a religion check for Aurel?
Yes.
Nope.
Let me put the, I don't have the die rolls up here. I have the summary up. So we'll take a look.
I have one job, and this is not
it. You know, if POTUS doesn't recognize anything, maybe possibly Vlad would have, but Vlad is, he's got himself on Discord, but he's not actually active tonight. He will be kind of out of combat for tonight, but you don't really recognize this, and certainly not in connection with the kind of people that you are looking at.
And I was going to ask, should I roll, like, maybe something history about this Talos and Uthgar?
Yes.
And avatars and whatnot?
Yes, you're welcome to roll history.
Oh, okay. Where is it? A -1. That's going to be great.
Hey man, can't be any worse than what we got. Oh!
2.
You beat a POTUS.
I did. I'm not from this land. These names mean nothing to me.
Now, in both cases, the weapons that you are carrying give you a sense of what they are saying and asking you, but you are not able to actually speak it. It's not giving you the ability to speak it. So what are you going to do? She has approached and is staring at Dirok.
Epotus looks at.
I look at the woman and say, oh, what was the last one? I am no illusion. I'm not a man either. I am orc.
She kind of blinks at you for a moment, and she says hesitantly in common, with a very heavy accented sound, "You cannot be. You cannot be. It is not possible."
I put my spear in my offhand, then offer her my hand.
She actually.
I am flesh and bone. You are willing to test me.
She doesn't take your hand. She takes a step back and shakes the rattles at you again.
I take the blood spear. I do a little cut on my hand in the palm. I'll take the 1 point of damage if needed, and show her that I bleed.
Your man, human, but you can't. This is just. And she's just almost out of words. She doesn't know what to say. She points at the goat behind you, like, the goat, the goat. And then she points again at the blood spear. Kevan's spear! Kevan's spear!
Kevan's spear was gifted to me by Kevan himself. He was risen from the dead by the lord of this land, and he, in defiance, he gifted me this weapon to fight them.
She turns and translates this to the men behind her, and they are just all aghast. I mean, they're just, they kind of pull their weapons towards them like they're afraid they're going to have to fight some kind of revenant or something of the sort. You can see that there's a sense of you're some kind of supernatural thing. You walk with the gods and you carry the spear. This is not possible.
I don't know. I shrug. I don't know what to say to make you
Sylvia,
believe me.
we need somebody good with war.
Do you think I speak this?
Seeing as they can
speaking
barely understand common.
They can
Oh, no,
understand.
I mean, she means... it's kind of like she's like, I speak fluently, but I don't speak uncultured.
Do you speak legend and hype?
Not this kind?
Victor,
sorry.
Let's see. Actually, wait. No, I don't have comprehend languages, do I?
I'm
if I do, I don't have it prepared.
I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I'm kind of getting this thing where they think that Duroc might not be real, and the fact that he's got the goat with him is important. Apparently, it's secret. I don't know their culture.
Do we know Sangzor's name?
Yes.
Well,
I've said it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Because I was told Sangzor's name. I've used it a couple times since
I
then.
think we would have heard it by then. Yeah. And they mentioned his name, even in their language. So I mean, we kind of would have heard them say it.
Victor.
Yeah.
When you were talking to that huge ass bird, did it happen to give you a name?
Did it give him a what?
A name.
Yeah, Victor would repeat the name, which
Yeah,
was
it was
far too complicated for the player to remember.
Krikargekis.
That is the name of the rock.
Yes.
I'm asking
Yeah.
the lady. Did she respond or no?
She would blink. You know, you have tamed the Greek Geggis too?
No,
No.
no. I can't remember the name.
I'm working on something. Just
Yeah,
He
the-
let us pass.
the rock had slew my horse on my way here during a battle with gargoyles.
Too much info. Too much info.
Nope. I don't care. I'm not listening.
I'm trying to.
And a goat, Sangzor, had come down to challenge us as well, and I took his challenge. And out of mutual respect for each other, he's allowed me to use him to travel further up to the mountain.
She stands dumb, no speaking for a few moments, just trying to take all this in, and she says, you must understand that Uthgar, the Irken, we were to have destroyed all Irken. How can you be here?
The what?
What is an Irken?
You would understand it, Hippotas. That was translated by the sword as orcs. That's the plural of orcs. He's an Irk.
Oh boy.
I come from another land far from Barovia? That's right?
Yes.
I come from a land far away from Barovia, and I've come here many months ago with my companions. So I'm not from Barovia, if that is what you are thinking.
The outsiders. Once we were from the outside once, long ago, our ancestors. We came from the far north to this land where we thought much green, much better life. We thought we would do well. And then it was closed to us and evil came. Kevan led us here, and Kevan said we would be better, but we were trapped, and forever we have given up the old worship. We worship Auril and the birds of the sky, the how do you say, the black ones.
The ravens?
Yes, we were once of the Tree clan, and now we are of the Raven clan.
There are others who have settled down below the mountain. I think I know of whom you may speak of that are also of the ravens.
We have the dark ravens are sent by the one who has the power, and they watch over us and make sure we cannot leave this land. And you begin to get the sense as she stumbles and fumbles for words that she may not be talking about the same ravens.
When you talk about birds, are they flying creatures with feathers or leather?
No, bad birds.
She kind of blinks at you with a strange look, and she says, birds, you know, the little ones that fly in sky.
Yeah,
Hippotas is gonna minor illusion a bat. Or like a kind of a flat, he's gonna hold his hand up and kind of do like a
Are you making
flat
it
sort of
clearly an
appearance.
illusion so that she doesn't think
Yeah.
to attack a bat? She will pull back and look at you. That is not a raven. Do I have wrong word?
No, we were seeing if you meant this creature as well.
No,
No,
those are
I do.
the one who keeps us here. He uses those too, but ravens are birds.
So it is the devil that keeps them here.
Well, yeah,
It's the
that was
devil
kind
who
of the
keeps
point.
us
But
here.
kind of the point. But remember, we had heard that there were bad ravens as well as good ravens. We've been working with good ones.
Yes. Crap, I've lost my train of thought.
Womp womp.
You said that they keep you here, as in here in this temple or here in this land?
These land, our people came from the north, the far, far north they came, and they wanted the better life, better families, and we lived up where there was green and much growing, and we had a temple on the hill, and we worshiped the great tree, and then we were attacked and many were killed and made to be what you said. They were made to be come alive when they not want to.
Well, we've the one that keeps you here, the one that has the evil birds that flocks and spies on you. He does so against us as well. We will be standing against him.
We may once again worship the old gods rather than Auril, who sends the feathered ones, the maker of the cold winds.
So did we just find friend or
Who,
foe?
who is Aril?
She is she is the she is the wind. She is the snow. She brings food or kills us. She is the terror of the the bad snowstorm.
She is not who you used to worship.
No,
You used to worship someone else.
long ago we worshipped another, but we had to bow to Ariel.
What is Aril?
And she just her brow furrows and she's trying to one who does not die, one who lives in sky, one who is all power.
I'm pretty sure Auril is a god, Durok.
Not for long.
I
And thus it was, boys and girls. The Durok challenged the god.
But I mean, I love this guy's motivation. I mean, really, just
the smoke is just trailing out of his nostrils as he's just.
you know what? Let him. If he gets him motivated to go do stuff, works in our favor.
In
As long as I'm not dragged along with him.
Oh please, no! Oh come on, you know we're going to be.
Where's the fun in
Yeah,
that?
you're right.
In a show of respect to all of them, I will drop to one knee with the blood spear in hand. I will give you my word. I will free you from Auril.
She takes a big breath and she says, "Is strange time when an orc, the old enemy, the old one we were commanded to fight by Uthgar, the old one brings us hope of freedom. These are strange and terrible days. We will stand with you, orc."
That is good to hear, and I'll stand back up. I have no quarrel against you or your people. This sounds like something way before my time. But there was something that a friend of mine, and I'm pointing to one of them back there behind me, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I hope to prove to you that I'm not your enemy, that I am your friend.
We will hold our hand and we will see if you can free us. You will be allowed to pass here, but beware. This temple and every door opens into more death. Death lies in this temple everywhere. Behind this door, and she points to the pair of doors in the north, behind this door lies hideous things, skulls that fly in midair and will burn you in an instant.
Epotus kicks the door out of his face. Sounds good. Let's.
Before we leave, is there more of your people here?
There are a few who roam in the forest, but we are very few, very, very few. We are dying as a race.
I will do my best to save all that I can, and I'll salute and start backing away.
And
oh no, we're going forward.
In this. Oh yeah, there is a door. Sorry, I don't back away. I just salute.
She'll step back among the other men and just watch what you are doing. You also notice that in this room, the sconces on the wall are lit, not with candles, but with some. This room is brightly lit, but the sconces don't have candles in them. They seem to be glowing on their own. And there is a cleft in the back wall.
I was going to ask them next then, what is with the hole in the wall? And I point to that area over there.
That is where we come in. This is how we get in for shelter from the snow when Ariel sends the bad winds.
Is it big enough for us to go through, or?
It is a squeeze, but yes, even the dire wolf was obviously able to squeeze through, so it's just barely, but you would have to kind of squeeze around through it to see what is on the other side.
Yeah. I'll go over there and check it out.
You can see
Epotus goes to give Zatra instruction.
Okay, and you can see that it goes down and widens up a bit.
Okay. Oh, yes, I see. Do you have something to cover it up when it gets too cold?
Yes, we put blankets up over the hole to keep it from getting cold, and we have a fire here. We are not as bothered by the cold as some. We have lived in the cold many generations.
Just as well, when we go to approach Auril, it's probably best to cover it up.
And she kind of...
You're too far away to hear me.
She kind of looks at you and blinks.
It's a stone wall. It's gonna echo.
Do you have a great ladder that climbs into the skies?
Jarek, we may have to do a rain check on that part of the mission and just focus on the other part.
Zatra, can you and Sangzor keep an eye on the other horses and kill anyone who gets close, particularly if it's one of those creatures, and especially that wolf. That would be super.
and the woman hears you say that, and she points at the wolf and she says, The wolf will obey us. It is ours. We will keep it here. Close the doors there, and she points to the open ones, and the wolf will not bother your horses.
No, Brutus, no, don't make the
He,
ladies angry.
I go to the woman. He does not understand our ways. I just humor him to make him think so.
He murmurs to Zedric, I do not understand the rules.
Sylvia's just going to look at him and facepalm slowly.
Hippolytus is so done with this. But seriously, Zatra, if any of them come out, just headbutt them.
Thank you for allowing us to pass, and I'm gonna go and take a look through these doors.
She gives you kind of an honor salute to her chest, but she still looks at you, and basically you get the feeling that she is, as far as she's concerned, she's living in the end times, where just miracles are occurring, and here an orc is now bringing the prophesied items when the orcs were the ancient enemy, and it's just, this can't be, this is just, she's trying to swallow it all, and you can tell they're starting already to gather and murmur among each other, and you can tell they're not going to get much sleep tonight because they're going to be spending the whole night talking about what was going on. So yeah, you have really rocked their boat. Okay, so you open the doors. How much are you opening the doors? How stealthily are you opening the doors, etc.?
I'll only open like the right side door, the one that I'm closer to, and I guess I will roll stealth to see how stealthily I will.
Now you
I will do it at a 15.
Okay, you are able to. I'll tell you what. You would open it about as you open a crack of the right door. You'd probably see something about like. Let me put it up to there. And down to there. I've taken off the dynamic lighting because it was clear on the other game that the dynamic lighting is so complex in this dungeon it gives people headaches.
Oh. I see it.
You see a dead body lying just inside the door. And you also see a bright light coming from points further up in the room. You can't quite tell what it is, but from what she said and the fact that the light kind of flickers, you suspect it's probably those things she was describing.
I do see a little bit of something. Do I see some kind of movement from this area here?
Yes, it is kind of moving around and the light is flickering. It's not static. There is something going on at that point.
And the body, is it barbarian or is it something else?
It is a man dressed in a cloak with, it's a hand-painted cloak. It was not a terribly well-made cloak, and somebody has hand-painted what looks like an attempt to make arcane symbols on it. Like they kind of took poster paint and painted stars and circles and suns on it and things, like they were trying to make themselves look like they had all that power. It doesn't look like it's anything really very magic, but certainly he is dressed more like somebody who was a wannabe wizard or something of the sort.
Yep. And then, can I recognize about how old the body is? Like, is it severely decomposed? Is it fresh?
It is pretty decomposed, and you can smell rotting flesh, so it is not ancient. However, it is the cold has preserved it somewhat. There's a layer of ice and rime ice over it, like the flesh has frozen somewhat. So it could be anything from several months old to a year or maybe even 2 years old with the cold. Remember, this is deeply sub-zero weather. You're at -10 Fahrenheit.
I slowly close the door before I go and talk to POTUS and any others that were inside. There's a body on the other side. Looks like a man playing at a wizard. And I see movement in the hall further ahead.
Well, let's go say hello.
Do you hold the door, or should I?
Epotus pulls out the sword.
I'm asking, and do you want me to hold the door and you charge, or do you hold the door and I charge? That's what.
Actually, that's a good question. Do you want to give them a show, Hero of the Bloods?
Yes, and I'll back away from the door.
Ow. Can you stop trying to gut rip me?
And Epotus grabs the door and says, "Are you ready?"
Yes.
And you fling it open?
Epotus is going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on and hold it until Dirok passes him and then hit him.
I'm gonna turn back to.
Hit him with the spell, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll last as long as possible, is what you're saying, and it has.
Yeah. So what he's doing is he's holding it. As Dirok passes him, he's gonna slam him with Protection of Evil and Good. So any undead is gonna have disadvantage.
Very good. All right.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to look back at Victor and go. So how long do you think it's gonna take them to realize that they're the only two that went ahead?
Now,
I'm sorry.
They'll just beat everything down.
We're too busy. We're too busy finally getting to do our stuff. Like.
Yep. I took my horse's blinders and I put it right on my head.
10 minutes, maybe.
You know, we kind of need them alive.
If it gets too crazy, just head on back and bring whatever it is.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
And Epotus opens the door.
And I charge.
Open the door and
Protection from Evil and Good.
there is a large flame.
Oh shit.
With something in the middle of it. And as you watch it, as this thing is flaming and billowing around it, it suddenly breaks apart, moves apart, and there are 4 of them, and they all begin moving towards you.
Sweet.
And roll for initiative, and I need a sheet up here. Where is it?
Forgot I had the ruler. That's why I was like, I can't kill you.
I get to act tomorrow.
Oh my god. You know, Victor, I think it's been 10 seconds by my watch. We should probably go after them.
I would have yelled at this point. Once I started charging, not yell. Bestial roar and whatnot.
And roll on it when it pops. Come on, roll 20. Give me the token. Thank you. All right.
Sorry, guys.
Oh no, like it's just you gotta let us have our stupid moment.
I mean, the thing was like
crazy to have a chance to really beat something down.
No, I totally get it. I find it hilarious, and it's like, okay, here they go, refer back to me, here they go. Victor hasn't been referred to at all, and then you guys are like, okay, we're going. It's like, hi, we're back here.
Whose fault is that?
Vlad never came out of the room, I think, because he can't really play tonight. So
Vlad's probably making it nice to go to bed.
Yeah, he's probably still asleep. You forgot to kick him and wake him up. But I need, let's see, what have we got? We still need a couple of rolls there. Sylvia, roll, please.
You actually want me to part? Okay. La.
And actually, considering the circumstance, I'm actually going to roll for one of them, because if anything actually brings the fight to them, they will do something too. So let me also bring their sheet up, just in case. They're not going to just stand idly by when they're Uthgard, that would be shameful. So we'll get there's. I will need that. Okay. Now that we have all of these available properly, we will see what we've got. I need to roll for that one.
I guess I forgot to ask. Are these doors? Because they're like
Yes.
really small compared to the other
They're
ones.
not double wide doors. They're just like a
Okay.
4 foot wide
A single door.
Yeah, just a 4
Okay.
foot wide door. The others are double doors. So
Okay.
no, double door. The guy that runs the magic school.
Shame on you.
That was bad, and you should feel bad.
That's okay. I had to resist making a hold the door joke.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold door. Hold door. Hold door.
Hey, you know, if you haven't seen it by now, shame on you for taking this long.
Right.
No, I have, but you just made me sad. It's still
I know.
too soon.
I'm talking about anybody who watches the stream and is like, oh man, spoiler. Too bad you took this long.
Yeah. By this time, we ought to be able to discuss it. It's become the new lore in our society. Anyway,
Yep.
Victor, in kind of the rear there, you actually got the top roll. What are you going to do?
All right. Let's see. Victor is gonna
Casually
just
strolls.
bust in, I guess.
Casually strolls.
So he is gonna come over here, kind of bust open the door, peek to see if there's like sunlight coming from anybody, and
my
say,
God.
"Yes, hello, excuse me, I am Victor. Don't mind me."
Oh my god, just go in.
And from here, he is gonna go ahead and bring in a moonbeam.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me check,
I'm just imagining we're planning all this big epic charge stuff, and he just and they all.
What does the moonbeam's damage consist of?
I'm gonna roll it in a sec. My character sheet was just slow to come up. I also need to make sure that I might not be in range for me to put it right on them.
Just tell me what type
Oh.
of damage.
I think it's radiant. Give me a sec.
Yes.
Yeah, radiant. So 14.
Okie doke. And draw where you're going to put it there.
Let's see. Nice. So it looks like it'll cover most of the hall here.
The squares are 10-foot squares.
So basically, like that. Boom.
Is it a 5-foot radius or a 10-foot radius?
5-foot radius.
Okay. All right. So, yep. And they need a con save. So let me do 4 cons real quick and see what they had happened to them. 1, 2. Come on, roll. 3, 4. We've got 1 save and 3 fails. So 14 is half on it. So let me see, starting from the top, 1, 2. The one right at the 12 o'clock position of the circles is the one that's saved. The one right in the dead center did a nat 1 roll, so yeah, that would be appropriate. So all the other 3 failed. So let me get their 14 damage off of them. Come on. 1. Minus 14 and minus 14. And then the 12 o'clock one only got 7.
Oh yeah, crazy question. Did we do any sort of rest when we got here?
Not a full rest. No, you kind of
Okay.
did a little bit in there, but you were in pretty good shape, I think. You rested somewhere. Where did you
We
actually
rested
rest?
at the tower.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you have not rested between the tower and here, um, but you also are not really down anything because you didn't encounter much between here and there.
I had to use one spell to save our butts at the bridge, so I was double checking to make sure I had my
Oh,
spells
that's right. That's right.
marked off.
You had the near death experience on the bridge. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. All right. So Dirok, charge in there. You're going to show them what their new leader looks like.
I can't. This doors still bar my way.
Defeated by a door jam.
unless it's
okay.
yeah, both of them are
That's
still
odd.
locked.
I don't have the. It shouldn't.
My God, Dirok's a vampire and someone lives in there.
Shouldn't be enabled.
Dirok, did you drink out of my water skin?
Let me. Apparently, even though I took enabled off, apparently the restrict movement still applies. That is so odd. Actually, it might work out well where you don't actually see it, but I have to open the doors, so I'll do that. That'll work. I
Yep.
just know now that I've still got to take the doors off like I did when it was enabled, which is actually kind of handy. It gives me both limitations. All right, so the doors are open.
There we go. I charge to the edge of the moonbeam, and I am going to start attacking this one directly in front of me.
Okay.
Attacks. I'm deciding I am not going to rage. So where's Blood Spear one-handed? 27 and a 14.
And I'm looking at this. Doesn't say unless magic. Which is odd. It just says pure resistance. Don't they have it? Doesn't that go away against magic weapons, Apple?
What is going on?
Damage resistance against piercing, but it doesn't say anything about magic weapons on the sheet.
If it doesn't have the writer where it says, because it'll say piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage from non-magical weapons.
It doesn't
But
say
if it just says piercing damage, like for rage, it just says bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing or whatever. Like that, it's irrelevant whether it's a magic item or not. So
Okay.
I believe that for those, if it just says piercing, then it's resistant to piercing. Period.
Okay.
So nothing happens.
My mind, and I'll tell the audience as well, my mind is so filled with garbage all the time that I tend to get rid of anything I'm not using at the time, and it goes away, and I have to re-look up the effect of resistance. Is it advantage?
Half damage.
It's what? Half damage?
Resistance to damage is half damage. You take half damage.
Okay, that type is halved against it. Okay, so let's see what the hits were in it. And they are... Both of those hit, so they took 17, so that would be 8 damage against that one.
That would be the one that's closest to me.
Yes.
Ah, why would you sneeze on me?
All right, Sylvia. You have flaming skulls running around in that room, they're telling you.
To which I have no idea what's going on. I'm just going to make my way in to about here. Look, squint, go, oh, that's lovely, and... I had an idea of something I was going to do, but then I was like, no, that's not gonna work. Yeah, you know what? Tried and true. That's what, 60 from me to about here. How's the radius on this thing? 10-foot radius? Sorry, I'm trying. So if I did it from here, that should cover at least these 3 right here. Yeah, I'm gonna do shatter at what level do I want to use this spell slot? No, I'll just do it at level 2. I'll save my higher stuffs.
Con save again. So the 3 on top need to do theirs. 1, 2, 3. One
We bring this under the pin.
And 2 fails. 1, 2, 3. So the one at the 12 o'clock again is the one that did the save. So it will take half. It'll again take 7. Just rinse and repeat on what we did before. Same damage. 7 on this one. And 14 on these. I keep picking up the moonbeam instead of them. Okay, and we are up to the berserkers, who at this point are just watching in awe. They are not doing anything at this point. They are kind of moving back towards the cleft as if they'll leave, but they are just like kind of like they're watching a show. They're pointing out the finer details of fight and what you guys are doing, like they're watching a battle in an arena. And the flame skulls will proceed to move in. Okay. Yeah. The one who is the flame skull that is the least damage throws a fireball right here. Let's see. Let's put it right about. That's not what I want. This. I want this, and I want this. It would drop one right about there.
Oh no.
And it
right in between all of you guys.
Ah, shit.
It is 20-foot radius, so it would go clear out to the door.
It's within 60 feet.
Ah.
What's within 60 feet?
Oh, nothing. I'm just.
It basically.
I was hoping our bard picked up counters.
It basically would be this. So even some of the berserkers are going to get hit on this. So
from where I am standing, would I be able to recognize that it's casting a spell from its actions?
It would be like huffing and puffing and blowing its flame up like it's going to burn the hairs on your chinny chin. So you might have a pretty good idea that something's about to happen, yes.
Crap. Alright, because this is a reaction I can do. Yeah, I will try to counterspell that.
Okay, they are casting it at normal level, so it is a 3rd level spell.
Okay, then I won't burn higher than a 3rd level slot then. So that is.
Okay, so that one goes away. Now, that is a creature.
Yeah.
That means you negated one of them.
How many were doing that?
The others are still in the process of doing theirs. Now, do you want to negate one in particular, like one that's closer, or do you want to negate the far one? Which one will you negate? Because basically they all have the power to do it. And as they came out of this flaming sphere that they were grouped into, they have been building and building the flame intensity until you can tell something is about to release.
Yeah, it's like the bombs from Final Fantasy. Okay, I'm
Dakota
just
shuts the door.
Could he do that as a reaction?
Actually, yes.
No.
Probably could. It's
Oh my
his
God.
turn next time, but yeah, they would have a reaction on him. I think they would have a
No, I did not prepare that action,
Yeah.
so I would not be
Yes.
able to do.
Sylvia would be able to get one of them. So which one are you negating?
yeah, I'm just gonna go with the first one I could see, Sandra Boyo.
Okay. All right. So let's. They get 3 of these. Let's see what we get here. The one on the far left.
By the way, stream, just so you know, we can all thank tonight for our potential death thanks to Blood and his mysterious disappearance.
Yes.
Where is our cleric now?
Yeah, where
can he be?
Why? Did he say he was going AFK or?
Yes, he said that he had circumstances
Unexpected
kept
company.
that prevented him from being able to play tonight, but that he would keep his picture up to keep the screen from jumping back and forth. So yeah, you got a problem on this one. Let's just see how many you can get down before bad things go on. All right, you are going to have to give me Ippotus, Victor, Sylvia, the 2 barbarians, including the leader and the direwolf, are all going to have to give me a dex save. She does.
Can we say Victor and Sylvia are close enough to get the benefit
From what?
from my save aura?
Yeah, I'll give him a benefit.
Oh, Victor doesn't need it. He's fine. That wasn't too shabby. Wasn't too shabby.
And you need a 13 on your dex save. Berserkers. Save.
I can't. It's not my turn, so I can't inspire POTUS.
Wait, what? Oh, that does not. Yeah, okay. Whew.
All right, the direwolf fails. The 2 berserkers succeeded. And the
They get to add 4.
okay, yeah, you get to add 4 to your save, but that you actually Riz and Sylvia, Victor and Sylvia actually saved. Ippotus, are you adding 4 to yours?
It's already there.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. You took the full 28.
I take half the 28 because I'm a gold dragonborn.
Victor and Sylvia would take 14 unless they have something to alleviate it further. That's on 1.
Oh no!
Yeah, you got 2 more coming in.
You don't have protection anymore.
That's fine. I'll start raging.
The one who is on Dirok is attacking him, however, and it throws fire bolts at him. Or no, it doesn't have fire bolts. It throws magic missiles. I thought it had flame bolts, but it's magic.
So I guess we're fighting the barbarians?
No, we're fighting flame skulls,
much,
and we
much
need
worse.
We made friends,
Yes.
but they're weak. So.
All right, give me a minute.
And it will throw its magic missiles at level 2, and so it gives a. There's no save on this, Dirok. Are you raging? You
Yeah.
didn't say it.
I did not rage. I was gonna hope that
All right. You
the
take
protection
12.
would help me out.
Then you take 12 force damage.
Oh man, that's 12 damage, guys. That's 12 whole damage.
Yeah.
So, how much damage did we take for the deck save? I
The
forget.
ones that saved took
14.
14. And
you.
POTUS took all 28.
No, he took 14 because he's a gold dragon.
Right, yeah. Well, he received all 28. He didn't dodge out of the
Yeah.
way, but he was able to resist it. And
See,
then,
I could have resisted and... Well, wait, no, force damage.
all right, so the second one nearest Xerox is going to do the same, and the last one is going to throw another fireball. Actually, what the one nearest Xerox will do, I want to look at this and its radius and its cast distance. The second one actually will throw flaming sphere right next to Xerox in the area right next to him and right against him so that he is in it and kind of blocking the hall from anyone else being able to turn it. Would be kind of like that. There is a flaming sphere hanging in the air right next to you, Xerox, and
Okay.
you need to make a dex save.
I invoke the thing. I forget what it's called. Danger Sense.
Okay. And how will it affect your vicinity?
I have advantage.
All right. So flaming sphere, and I've got it's at that level. So come on, get me my. You need a DC 13 Dex or whatever we are going to. So you'll be able to. 15 is enough.
15.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So you take it, and the last one throws another fireball. So same general area. And
Close the door, POTUS. For God's sake.
Well, it's not my turn yet.
I said use it as a reaction.
he can't. No, he has to
I
prepare
didn't
it.
prep it as a.
All right, so the same group needs to roll that DC 13 Dex save again. Berserkers, Dex, Direwolf, Dex. Come on, roll the Berserker.
Do we have a bonus on this?
Yeah.
+4, I believe.
Okay, so mine is 15.
All right, so 13, 12. Let's see, the gladiator's out of range. She wouldn't get any benefit. She took the leader took the full damage. The berserker next to her saved, and the wolf failed. That poor wolf is getting burnt up. The wolf takes the full, how much was it? 25 this time. All right, let me start. I'll come to you guys in a moment. And I didn't take its 14 off there that it took before.
Alright, so what's going on?
Just a moment. She's doing stuff with the barbarians and
Well,
wolves.
you can
They're
go
being
ahead and
attacked as well.
explain to him what you're attacking.
We to the north of the barbarian room is a hallway filled with flame skulls, and we are currently fighting them. They just shot off 2 fireballs at the group and the barbarians.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, the other 2 shot a magic missile at me and a flaming sphere at me. They are, however, immune to even magical or not immune, but resistant to magical weapons. So even if I get up there with the blood spear, it's not really going to be effective. I can just really hold their attention, hopefully.
And actually, that circle, if you are within 5 feet of it and it can't really overlap you, it's actually next to you. So I'll move that to that position. All right, I've taken all their points off. Now to look at Victor saved with his +4. Kyle saved this time, POTUS saved, and La Luna, Sylvia saved as well. So all three of you would take half of 25 or 12, and a POTUS you take 6. All right. Finally, their turn is over after a lot of explodies. Yeah, POTUS.
Sorry to interject. You said 12. Remove 12 or 6.
6 for me because I have resistance to fire.
Sylvia took 12. Sylvia does not have fire resistance.
Okay.
I am not in good shape.
Yeah, so Epotus is going to drop 2 sorcery points to cast Aid as a bonus action at 4th level.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3. So Sylvia, Epotus, and Dirok get an additional 15 hit points on top of everything.
That's a hit point maximum increase, by the way.
Yeah, it's not temporary hit points, it's your actual hit point maximum.
And it lasts for...
It lasts for that?
Duration of
I thought
the
that was a concentration spell. That spell is way better than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's not a concentration spell.
And I see...
I am a little confused how that works.
And
or how this...
Just record like your hit points somewhere, your original hit points somewhere separately, and then alter your actual hit point.
And since we have a mic on camera, I've got him now. Okay.
Yes, speaking of Mike, do you want me to roll initiative at the top of the turn so you can just re-click the...
Go ahead and put it in now. We'll just see where you come up on it.
Okay, so that was my
Got it, 2!
So that was my bonus action.
Which means basically, you're right in the right place.
Yeah, and then Epotus is going to walk in. He has not pulled out the sword yet, but he just looks back and says, "When you're ready, come in." He's going to close the door behind him, and then he's going to Conquering Presence.
All right, and Vlad, I've put you back kind of like behind the wall because you weren't in the battle, so you were out. You were protected from all the flames that spread all over the place. Even though it spreads around corners, I'll say that you were back far enough that you didn't get it. So Epotus uses Conquering Presence, DC 16 Wisdom or Feared. Let me double check on their resistances to fear. That's not one of them. Oh no, frightened. Condition immunities. Frightened.
Damn it. The one thing I'm good at.
They just glare at you. And the door is... Let me slide the door closed behind you guys here so that you know that you actually can't get through there until you open the door again. You'll find that there's a barrier even though you can see. All right. Anything else, Epotus, for bonus actions or anything before?
I already did the bonus action, so...
Okay. And so we move on to Vlad.
Action? Oh my god. Okay. Vlad, who has been waiting for his moment to be the hero of the story, struts in through the room, walks past...
You're going to have to open
What
the door.
were you doing? Taking a shit?
What?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. What about it?
What were you doing? Taking a shit?
When nature calls, she doesn't leave a voicemail.
Alright, so the door is closed again, or is the door still open again?
The door is currently open. If he tries to walk through it, he'll find that out.
Okay, no,
this-
it's not letting
is it-
character icon to move through, so that's what I was
Is
wondering.
it this door or is it this door?
The northern door.
Okay, so can I get into that room?
If you open the door, yes. If POTUS intentionally closed it to protect Sylvia and Victor, that got pretty crisp.
Okay, so I will go into the room, and then
Right, so you are going to actually open the door and walk in. All right,
yes, and then close it back behind me. As I'm walking, I flip down my eye of death,
Oh,
anti-depth. I assume that these things are actually undead.
Oh, they are definitely undead, yes, and they are very obvious. You know exactly where they are. You wouldn't even need your eye patch to know where they are. Their skulls floating in midair, and they are just, it has a sound like a furnace roaring. I don't hear you.
Hmm? Hello.
How about now?
Yes.
there you go.
That was really weird. Okay. So, yes, Vlad is going to stride into the room and use Channel Divinity Turn Undead. And he's going to pump in 3 charges from... Is it 3 or is it 5 charges? Let me double check.
Is there a save on Turn Undead?
There it is. It is a Wisdom save. However, I am using... where is it? I'm of Ravenkind, and I'm expending 3 of the 10 charges to give them disadvantage on that.
Okay, that will put them back to normal roll, because they have advantage against magic in general.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a spell; it's a class ability. You know what? Never mind.
That's DM discretion. I personally would classify it as magic. And the DC is my spell DC, which
Well,
is
it
17.
says spells and other magical effects, so to me that's a spell that he is casting. Okay, so you did what? Say that last one again.
The DC is 17.
Okay. Are you able to roll it up on the screen?
And I forget
Sure.
what our kind of latest ruling on Turn Undead was as for Victor.
Well, I can't see you because it closed the door behind me,
Oh.
so it doesn't matter.
We'll have to discuss that because I said at higher levels, as Mike was working with you, it would change a bit, and we haven't really discussed how it changes, so we'll discuss that later.
I don't have an actual thing I can click, but I can just copy the description out.
Okay, so I think, see you're here within 30 feet, make a wisdom save. All right, so wisdom saves on all 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you said your DC was 17?
17.
All right, so we have 1 save, which is 1, 2. It's the one at 11 o'clock is the one that's saved. All the others failed. So move as far away from you as you can. All right, nothing happens until it has its turn.
If they are turned, which means they can't attack, they can only use their action to use dash to get away from me. It doesn't break if they can't see me. If there's nowhere else to move, they can only dodge, and it breaks if they take any damage.
Very good.
What are these circles that are all over the room?
Spells of various kinds. I'll let you know in
Moonbeam
just a
is the
second.
brown one.
The brown one is Moonbeam. The red one is a flaming sphere that is hanging in the air next to Dirok and burning him. And will be burning a POTUS when let's see, when it says when you move in, I believe, that actually needed to happen because you came within 5 feet of it.
I mean, it's 5 feet around a point, so it's like a 5-foot ball of fire.
but it says anything that moves within 5 feet of it. And I've got to find the spell description again. Because it can't actually put it on you. It's a kind of a solid object. But anything that moves within 5 feet of it. And I've got a 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears in an unoccupied space and lasts for the duration.
Once again,
any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere must make a dex save or take 2d6 fire damage. So give me a dex 13.
Hey Riz, does Moonbeam do the damage at the start of your turn or at the end of your turn?
It's technically on their turn, but we keep doing it on my turn for simplicity's sake.
Yeah.
Is that
Unless they
start?
move into it on their turn.
Yeah, we just.
Or is it at the
have
start of the turn?
simplified it.
Or is it at the end?
Yep. So that will be a 21
It's
dexterity.
whenever they.
Right.
It's technically whenever they enter it, or start their turn.
It's 10 total, so you'll take 5 damage. Opposed.
Divided
Can
by
you
2, so 2.
Can you move that
Wait,
off?
why is it double divided?
Because I have resistance to fire damage to begin with.
Oh, and you save. Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah.
So it's quarter to
It's the same thing as when
No, don't
Derek
explain it. I
resisted
just
magic.
forgot I
It's my
I
job.
didn't add them all up. Is all. That's all.
It's my job to remember. So
Yes.
don't. So.
Yeah. I just didn't add up all the saves that you had. That was all that was going on there.
Would you mind moving that moonbeam before it completely undoes?
Undoes what?
Are those all getting damaged at the start of Riz's
Yeah.
turn? Undead is broken.
No, it's not. You chose to do it when they were getting pelted by.
Yeah, they were sitting in the AOE kind of already.
The AOE came first, man.
I didn't. And I was here to know that.
I'm here, and there's a circle on the enemies.
There's a
What did you
circle
think
on the
was
board.
happening?
Yeah. That
He's
one
been
I'm
a
not gonna feel
druid in
sorry
2
for you.
campaigns.
I'm not trying to undo my turn. I'm just
PS.
saying that it was wasted again.
Yep.
P.S. Ask in chat next time before you jump in and do stuff.
Right.
I did ask people to explain to me what was
A
going on.
little too late, yes.
All right.
And it is
All
now.
good.
You have
All
any
good.
other bonus actions to do? Moving on, people. Do you have any other bonus actions to do?
I'll cast Healing Word on the POTUS.
Okay.
It's coming. So, add 3. 9 total.
And Victor, roll
will
your
take it.
damage on your moonbeam.
All right.
I now have more HP than I usually.
It
Oof,
is
not very good.
interesting. Roll20 has changed. When I click a spell, I just realized it automatically is taking off the counter. I was like, whoops, I didn't take off that fireball. And then I turned around and looked, and it was already off.
So,
Anyway,
they take it. Turn undead is immediately broken.
right? So those will go away. I'll do it on their turn. I just keep those on until then. Because basically what happened is a second or two afterwards. Victor, what are you doing with your moon? There we go. Okay, so con
Yeah, so
saves
only
on the-
13. Very
Yeah.
sad.
But we have a bunch of con saves. 13 is 13. I mean, let's face it.
Unlucky roll.
2, 3, 4. Come on. Okay, so 3 of them failed. 1, 2, 3. The one in the center this time succeeded. So it took only 6 damage. The others all took the full 13.
Now, how's this dire wolf looking? It got kind of beat up when we did. Pretty bad, didn't it?
He's down, he's pretty burned, and he's trying to slink away towards the crevice to get out. So Yeah, it'll try to get away. It's kind of whining, and some of the berserkers are trying to tend to it.
Yeah, Victor runs over here. He's going to use Cure Wounds on it at 3rd level.
Yeah.
And he then goes over here, takes cover behind the door, but like peeks by partially opening the other one. And he just points in the room, just focusing on the moonbeam. He says, "By the light of the moon, I will punish you."
Oh, good
And all
lord.
the skulls start turning back to us.
And that's all.
As a side note, Victor feels a small whiffed air from Mage Hand slapping him in the back of the head for that one.
Creepy soldier, Victor Grimwolf.
You could say he's fighting evil by moonlight.
Shut up!
You're all moonlighting.
Oh god.
Fighting evil by moonlight.
I'm gonna
Does
polymorph
this
Victor.
make sense?
By daylight.
You know,
Fleeing whenever he sees daylight.
you know,
Wait. Does this make Strahd Tuxedo Mask?
Oh god!
you know, if someone covered that moonbeam with red cloth, it would be a red eclipse.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Oh,
what?
My
Maybe he
head
could be
hurts from
both
that
because
one.
he can druid craft. He
oh
can druid craft a
god.
rose.
Oh god!
Oh god. My head hurts from you people.
I don't understand the reference, by the way.
Sailor
Wow.
Yes, Sailor
Ch-
Moon is.
You poor child.
Um. Anyway, it is Dirok. You're getting burnt. You've got a moonbeam searing right down in front of you and kind of burning your whiskers off one side of your face if you get any closer. And you've got a skull throwing pot shots at you. What are you going to do besides go to Disney World?
Moon. How far? Okay, that is definitely more than 5 feet. So I am going to shift fighting to over here, not getting out of range out of any of them, and I'm gonna keep attacking the one that I've been attacking.
Okay.
Stab.
So you are
as soon-
out of range of that.
I am still not going to rage.
Okay.
12 and 29.
Oh,
Nice.
you critted, yeah. All right, so let's see. We've got 2130 damage on that one. Let's see what we've got. The first kill
I
of
don't
the
suppose-
night goes
I don't
to
suppose
Dirok.
that these
Yay.
undead
And
happen to be
I get
smart
a
people.
blood spear kill, so I gain an additional 5 temporary HP.
I don't suppose that these flaming skulls would happen to be CR2 or lower.
CR?
Didn't think so.
No.
Didn't think so.
No,
Let's see what
they
I
are
hope
not.
for.
Was it both attacks that killed it, or was it one with the 11?
It was both. It took both of
It
them.
was both.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. I was going to say that if
Yeah.
that was the case,
It had-
if you need me to reroll,
It
I
had
would reroll the
20
second
It
attack
had
on.
21 points. You used all but the crit.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Then-
Sylvia?
Yep, that ends my turn.
I'm going to bonus action healing words at level 1 for myself because I stood there kind of crispy. Out of curiosity, glancing back, how is the leader of this tribe looking?
She looks like she's been burnt, but she looks like she's still capable of caring for it, and the group of them are tending wounds and doing things.
Okay. At least she's alive. One, she's alive, so yay. I am going to. I'm gonna stare down. Let's see which one. This guy here, the closest one, and I am going to yell out from the cracked open door, "Hey, check it out! One of you just got snuffed out!" And vicious mockery on.
Snuffed out.
Psychic.
Excuse me.
Okay, they don't have.
I have no
any
idea if
new-
it'll work, but
They have no immunity to psychic. Interesting. I would think that undead would, but they don't. They would be somewhat embarrassed that they didn't do that. Let's see how embarrassed they are. Oh, is it on one of them or all of them?
No, it's a single target, so it's that middle one that
Alright.
I poked at. And then he will have disadvantage on his next attack roll.
And DC 17, he actually saves. 18.
Damn. All right. Never mind.
He starts to kind of pull in on himself, but then he thinks, no, I'm a flame skull. I don't do that.
I'm a flame skull. Or maybe he doesn't think at all.
Yeah,
That's why he was
maybe.
unaffected.
Yep. The berserkers are tending their wounded, and they like pull out to a safer distance because they basically have nothing they can fight. I mean, they could run in and pummel those things, but that's why they were staying away from there, because they basically have nothing they can fight it with. They're not that kind of orc. So they pull back to just recuperate for a bit, well out of range of any further fireballs that might be forthcoming. And the flame skulls shake off the fear, finally get wise enough to realize they're being crisped by a moonbeam. And let's see, I've also got to remember which one actually, that goes away. It was the one on Deerrock that threw it. The flaming sphere is gone.
All right.
And they move out of the moonbeam.
Damn.
What is the status with the door?
Victor is taking cover behind one door and kind of peeking out of the other. I'm not sure what Sylvia did with it after that.
Probably peeking around Victor and still keeping behind the door.
Is one door open?
Like slightly open enough to like have line of sight on this moonbeam.
Okay, because it...
Apo, I just saw your question. Yes, moving through the moonbeam causes damage.
All right.
Yeah, because fireball flows around corners is why I need to know. There, I will consider you guys to be to have advantage +2 because it's got to sneak through the crack of the door to get you.
Yeah.
And it's basically going to drop a fireball right at the door. So right on top of Vlad, more or less.
Oh no.
You stood there.
And
I had an all or nothing gamble.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
pay off.
So let me hit this one. So the one on the far left throws a fireball.
Oof.
And it's right on
Let's
top
see.
of
Am I in
Vlad.
range of Apotus's thing?
No, he's 15 feet from you.
Oh.
Vlad
That's right.
is.
Dex
Vlad
save?
I will count as being in
Oh
range.
no!
All right.
Rip.
So I need a save from Victor and Sylvia. You have advantage plus, what did I say, 4? 2.
I think
Two.
2.
2, yeah. You have advantage plus
It won't
2.
save me.
So Sylvia saved. She gets slightly crisped a little bit. And Victor, how much comes through the door on you? Oh, you've already saved up there, right?
I'll gladly roll it again if you want.
Yeah, okay. So Victor is standing right at the door because he has to cast his moonbeam, and so a blast ray pours through the 4-inch gap of door on him and overlaps a little bit towards Sylvia. Sylvia, you only take half damage. However, the fireball hit with 29 force. Therefore, half is 14. Victor,
As
you take
As
29.
soon as I can pick my own token.
But he'll be fine. He's a vampire.
Right. Now,
So how much am I
Epotus,
taking now?
you take 29 halved.
Asking me to do math.
What
Just-
am I asking you to do?
No, just.
Victor
brain-
looks
I
like
said you
kind
take
It
of.
goes up and then it goes down.
You take
Victor looks like kind of like Freddy Krueger right now.
let me go through it again to make sure everybody got what they did. Victor took 29. Epotus took 29, but it is halved because of his resistance.
I just used Victor as a
Vlad
human shield.
saved, so you took 14 damage, Vlad.
Yep. No, I didn't. I changed Magic Initiate for Shield Magic.
Okay.
Did-
So, what
okay.
did you take?
Nothing.
Okay.
Well, hold on one second, because
Yeah, I've got to see that.
Is that-
So
does that
Shield
let
Master,
you block it
lets you
altogether?
add 2 AC to Dexterity saving throws, and if you succeed, you don't take any damage. You can also make a push attack with your shield as part of the attack act. As a bonus action.
okay. And then Sylvia, you took 14 damage. All right, yeah. Boiny, boiny, boiny. The one on Dirok shoots another. I've got to. The way this is doing this, I'm glad that it does this for me, that it takes these off, but there are 4 enemies that I'm using 1 sheet on. And when it took all the spells off, it causes me a bit of a problem.
Uh-oh. What are you doing? Lay down.
Because it actually makes the spells disappear. You can't even see them. All right, there we go. Now I can see them. I had to add some spells back. All right, so will you shrink that already? So magic missile on the one that's fighting Dirok, from the one that's fighting Dirok. To Smith. And it hits you with 4 plus 11 is 15 damage. Are you raging yet?
No,
You
I'm
said
taking it all.
specifically you weren't. So 15
I did have temp HP, so I'm only taking 10.
And the one, let's see, that will, the one north of you then will fire at Epotus with magic missiles. And
Bring it on.
that's its last 3, so submit. And it takes a total of, come on, add it up, 15 force damage on you, Epotus. And with that, it is Epotus' turn.
Epotus pulls out the lightsaber and takes a swipe at this one. I'm assuming they're undead.
They are undead. They are indeed. And I gotta see if actually don't have any subjection to that, it looks like. So the daylight doesn't seem to affect these, but the rest will. Alright, so versus undead is 16 damage. That is a hit. You're the closest one. So
Then I'm going to pop a first level spell slot for Divine Smite on.
that one next to you, its flame almost goes out. It like sucks in, and you can almost hear a sucking sound as it pulls the flame in and tries to rejuvenate itself. It's trying to burn itself back into existence. It suddenly seems very concentrated, trying to make itself reflame. It's kind of like trying to
Yeah,
flame.
so it takes a total of 32 radiant damage.
It doesn't make it. It's coughing and choking and trying to get the cigarette lighter to flame back up again, and it chokes out.
So is it dead? Okay. And then Epotus moves to the second one.
With an action or? Yeah.
My second attack, yeah.
Okay.
And then we're gonna slash at that. And
Slash,
blow
slash.
another first level Divine Smite.
That is 25. You exactly take it down. It comes down, it doesn't even get a chance to choke. It just kind of like is paying attention to Duroc, and from behind it, it just suddenly is snuffed.
This is my job, and the one thing I'm good at. That's my turn.
Okay, Vlad, although everybody's been crispy toasted, it looks like your job is much easier than it was shortly ago.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with. I'm not gonna bother with a spell. How healthy is this one looking?
It's still flaming pretty good, but a section of its skull is kind of burnt off from the moonbeam. It's been damaged, but it's still got enough oomph to keep going pretty good.
Okay, so I'm gonna run. You know what? I'm going to run directly through the moonbeam. So I will have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yep, and we'll just use this round's damage on it, which I'm rolling back to find what it was.
I think I would still
13.
add a bonus thing, but I don't think a total of 12 is going to do anything, so I'll take
DC
that.
16, so you take 13 moonbeams radiant damage.
I take 13 moonbeams.
Yep.
That would be terrifying.
Good old governor.
I'm going to run straight up to this flaming skull, take the attack action to try to whack it in the face. Where is it? Do I happen to have advantage for any reason?
I don't think so, no.
Dang. So it is 8 plus 2 for a total of 10 damage.
Okay.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to try to shove it back into the moonbeam. With Shield Master.
You have 8 bludgeoning, which it would be resistant to. I don't add up to the same thing.
I have 8 bludgeoning from the mace and 2 radiant damage from my divine strike.
Why
cleric
only
feature.
2? I see 8 there.
What?
On the sheet, it says 8 bludgeoning plus 8 radiant.
Oh, you're right. I was looking at the wrong thing. And so it would be 8 bludgeoning and then 8 radiant.
And it actually is not resistant to bludgeoning, only to piercing. So it takes the full 16 damage. Now it is starting to not look quite so healthy. It's not choking and spitting, but it's definitely not as healthy.
And then I'm going to use a bonus.
You moved, so I'm going to have you get up where you are. I am going to be a pill on this. I told the Friday group the same thing. On this dungeon, be it known, I am going to be a super pill that you move your token to where you actually are. I think some of you know enough about Amber Temple to have some concept of why I have to do that. But Amber Temple is particularly in need of knowing where you're standing. So you will be constantly told by me, move your token to where you actually are.
And then I'm going to take a bonus action using Shield Master to try to shove the skull back into the moon.
Okay. And
so it's basically just a grapple check, which is athletics or acrobatics versus my athletics. Which is very high.
Rolls a dex and rolls a 23. It actually has they actually have very high dex. I can't believe it. It actually critted its dex save.
I run up, smack it, and bonk it with a shield, but I don't manage to push it back into the moon.
You are in contact with it. I've got to...
Hey, Victor.
Okay, it doesn't actually, you don't actually get damaged in contact with it. By the way, just for your information, the 3 flame skulls that have been snuffed out, the skulls are laying on the ground, and they keep, like, there's like ember coals burning in their eyes. The coals do not snuff out on them when they drop to the floor. All right, it is Victor's turn.
Okay. He's looking pretty gross. As his flesh is kind of stitching back together from a barbecued mess. He's gonna peek through the door again and go ahead and move his moonbeam, and then just kind of lean against the door like, ugh.
Yeah.
Vlad
I need
moves.
to prepare.
Vlad shuffles out of the way
absorb
as the Death
elements.
Star comes burning through.
While Victor's leaning against the door, Sylvia is going to be pretending to be casting spells to heal him. That way they don't catch on that he's using
Give me
something
your
else.
moonbeam roll so I know what damage
All
it's
right.
going to take.
Okay, come on. Not a shitty roll this time. Not a shitty roll. Let's do this.
Not too bad.
Better than last time.
Only one.
Where'd you cast it at,
con
level
save
3?
this time.
Level 4.
And it is a fail, I can tell that. It's a 9, so I can tell by how wide that box is, but it takes a long time for the number to come up. It fails, so it takes the full 15. Let me see.
Oh.
It is still up, but it has gone into cigarette lighter mode. It's sparking and choking, trying to get its flame ignited again. And with that, it is Dirok's turn. Dirok, be careful. Right in front of you is a searing white light.
Yep. I move over there to get closer to. Actually, I will move around Vlad to kind of make it so that it would have to go forward.
You are not in melee range of it, so you could move clear around him with no problem.
Yep. And then swinging the blood spear. A 19 and a 21.
That definitely takes it down. It's going, trying to get its flame ignited again, and it just snuffs and drops into those burning coals of a lifeless skull with burning coals for eyes on the ground.
And as it goes down, I give out a victorious roar, hoping that the barbarians can hear me and join me in victory.
And you do indeed, from the cave in the background, you hear them beating their chests and cheering in their language. And did you say your name?
I don't think I did. They probably would just know me as Orc.
Then they would just be chanting, Irk! Irk! Okay. Victor, do you let your moonbeam go out?
Let's see. He's gonna peek through, and if the skulls are still moving around on the ground, he's gonna shine it on them for good measure.
Okay. You
He
can,
just kills the rest of it.
Yeah, just.
no matter what you do, those eyes seem to continue to glow in the flames.
What if he POTUS takes his boot and stomps on it?
There is broken bone, but there's still those glowing eye embers in the middle of it.
Somebody do something holy or something. I will wait in here.
Anyone got a jar? We can put him in a jar. I'm opting to put him in a jar.
Then they can turn into a flaming jar!
Or a nightlight. I mean, either one works.
Or I like an nightlight better. I also didn't say that as Vlad, but I sure wish I did. Are we technically out of combat?
You are technically out of combat, yes.
Well, it's not too holy, but I can do this, and I'll cast point at one of them, and cast Dispel Magic.
The eyes glow a little less brightly, but they don't. I'm gonna move you for a moment. For some reason, the box for me is framed around Dirok and won't go away for the turn order. That is really odd. Oh well. I don't know why that is. It's locked itself. You now have a permanent yellow box around you, Dirok, but I can't do anything about it. Roll20 has decided that because you're the hero of the day, it's going to put a yellow box around you.
All right. As it should be.
The eyes dim somewhat when you dispel magic, but they don't go out.
Okay. He'll smack it with his radiant mace.
Again, you get
Doesn't
a
do
dimming.
anything?
It doesn't. No, it. Those eyes.
I think we should just move through here as quickly as possible.
I still say we put it in a jar.
I
agree.
take it back. I did not see a bottom line on this. Actually, your dispel magic did remove it on one, I believe. What's the radius?
It was just a delayed action.
Took a little bit of time for it to take effect. Does that have a radius, or is it a single object?
It's a single target.
Okay, so one of them ceases to glow.
Victor, I'm going to need your help.
Is it a good idea to spend all that effort on dispelling these when we could probably use
on dispelling things that throw fireballs and acid at us?
Fair enough, continue. And POTUS goes to poke this dead body with a stick.
La 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 la.
There was no acid. There was only fire.
I thought there was acid or one of the earlier things. Oh, well, just fire.
So I'll use 2 of my 3 third level spell slots to cast this spell magic on 2.
Okay.
I helped!
I would help, but unfortunately I'm feeling a little dizzy at the moment. Healing would be so much better.
I will heal you if you can dispel one of these.
I'll
heal you regardless, but I would like you to help dispel one of these.
She's just going to keep going. I'm too faint and leans against the wall.
So Victor, you dispelled one. Did you
There you
dispel
go, quit
only
whining.
one, Vlad?
I dispelled 2 of them.
All right.
Total.
So 3 of them are not glowing. That's fine. All right.
There is 1 left.
1 left. Yes.
Including the one that I dispelled?
Yes.
Did you
two,
dispel
2
one?
from Vlad,
I dispelled
1
one.
from Victor. There were 4 altogether.
I will cast dispel magic as well.
Right, okay.
I will use my spear and just chuck it right into the skull. Dispelled magic.
I can heal you all much better if we can wait and if we can get rid of the danger. That's why I want to do this now, so that it doesn't come back.
Okay, so there is still 1
Anyone else?
glowing and 3 that are completely dead.
Fine, alright.
Can I go and I'm gonna go and pick up the skull and look inside of it to see what's
Alas,
making
poor
it.
Yorick. I knew him, Horatio.
You know, we could have used this somehow.
Use this to kill us, maybe? In any case, gather around.
POTUS looks at the body.
Okay, when you
So
go
it's
over to the body and look at this wizard, there is definitely things on him that make you realize that he was some kind of magic user of some kind, but it doesn't look like he was exactly the best one probably in the world, and he took on a little bit more than he could handle. His body is like half charred, only half of it was even left to decompose. He
made it to the last dungeon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but
Well,
from what I remember from what I saw, his cloak or whatnot looked like it was hand painted, so he was pretending to be a wizard.
yeah, it looks like he had a spell book on him. However, the spell book was unfortunately held in his right arm, and that is the area that was heavily charged. So there is nothing but crisp pages and a binding that will indicate that it was a spell book. And he apparently was not as good of a wizard as he thought he was when he did it. One thing that you notice laying underneath the body as you kind of turn it over to see what he's got on him, you notice that there is a staff, a very white staff, which is even more coated in frost than the body is. The frost in the dungeon or whatever seems to have affected it very, very heavily. And you also find a pouch with only 10 gold in it. This guy was not exactly very wealthy.
I want to take I'm going to go over. It's like, I have no respect for the dead. And starts checking up the stuff.
Are you picking it up?
I am going to cast Identify on it.
Okay. It is a frost staff of frost. Let me find it and give you the readout on it here.
You fool, you had no idea what you actually had in your hand. Come to mama.
What is this doing this to me? I want the... For some reason I clicked on it and everything closed up and I don't know why.
Oh no!
There it is. Alright, let me pull it up into player handouts and then I will give you access to it. Oh, come on, roll 20. It's just sitting there staring at me and won't let me move it. Ah! Yeah, it's lagging so bad that when I click it, it doesn't do anything. All right, let me turn this off first. Wow, it's really slow. And pull this up to here. Can't even get the arrow to activate. It just sits there staring at me.
Oh no!
There we go. Now I've got to look at this because I've got to see what it says on this. All right, so you identify it as, I can actually give you access to this now. It will come up in Sylvia's journal here. If you look under Player Handouts Magic Items, once it saves, you will see it. That is what you identify on what its basic nature is.
I'm just going to cry and be like, no! And I'm just going to give like this biggest stink eye towards Victor.
Right.
What? I just healed you. What is your problem?
It unfortunately can only be used by 4 classes. However, believe it or not, a POTUS can use it.
Yeah,
What
you
is
can.
This poor fool decided to use magic spells from a book instead of using the staff. It's a staff of frost. It does a whole bunch of ice magic.
Huh.
Unfortunately, I can't use it. Hooray!
Can only be used by druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard.
I could give it a shot.
Don't turn it into a shovel.
Can I use it?
But it would be so handy as a shovel.
It would be
Staff
handy
of
leaving it
Frost,
as
is that what it was?
Yes.
Can Can I use it?
No, sweetie. Sorry.
Dear, you with the staff, it wouldn't be right.
But I could dual wield.
You could, but it wouldn't do anything special for you. It would just
But
be.
I could hit things with it.
Dirok, it should probably go with Victor because while I could try to use it with some of the strange things that have been happening, he's the one with the free hand.
Very well. And I'm gonna start walking towards the furthest door. Single door,
So
furthest
my
single door.
vote's Victor. Good.
I'm going to. She's just going to reluctantly hand it over. She's like, I thought I found something that could be used by.
All right, so who picks it up?
Victor's got it.
Did
Sylvia would. Huh?
Did Sylvia pick it up?
She attempts to pick it up to hand it to Victor.
1 second, Sylvia.
Yep, I'm doomed.
Great.
I mean, she had to touch it in order to cast Identify.
Yeah, there's that too. Touch base spell.
Whispered in-game.
Oh. I thought it was gonna be like, and explosions happen right in your face.
The first
But we'll make it a
person
nice
to
explosion.
touch it basically gets a bit of a curse. It is permanent. It does not go away. It is added to anything else, and as it says, it trumps anything that would conflict with it.
Oh, well, I guess it's fitting that it's not already on the cursed person of the group.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's already
I'm just going to look sick and keep holding on to the staff.
What?
You can hand it over. You have used the curse. You can feel the curse drain out of it when you pick it up, and it flows into you. The staff is now free of the curse and can be handed to anyone without harm.
What happened?
She wouldn't be able to tell you. She just would know that she feels very angry about holding that staff, and she kind of looks different as she picks it after she picks it up and hands it to Victor. She just doesn't look
So
like
nothing out of the ordinary?
She hands it over to Victor, but there's like her teeth are clenched when she hands it over. Narrowed
Get a
eyes
handout or something?
I'm looking at. Okay, so to best describe how she's looking right now, it's basically a combination of she looks like she's going to be sick, but at the same time looks really, really pissed off for some unknown reason.
So, regular.
Yeah.
You guys are terrible, just so you know.
Sylvia, you'll feel better once you get some healing. Come here.
Okay, so do your healing, do your preparations. This is where we will leave it for next time. You have 3 doors along the western wall, small doors. You have a large set of double doors at the north. And you have 3 arrow slits that look down on apparently on the temple floor that you could see a little bit of before from what you can tell.
Victor whispers to Apotus, I think the moonlight threw off her cycle.
And let me get that staff linked to you, Victor, so that you can actually read the description here.
So just a small thing. So this is something that's now permanently attached to me?
Yes. You have gained that as a permanent part of your being.
Alright, let me see what this...
And Victor, you now can read the spell description under magic items in player handouts.
Alright, let's see.
I technically have nothing that conflicts against it, though. That's the weird part.
Yep. It doesn't matter though. It trumps it if it did. So,
Got it.
but it is now. It is now part of your personality. Okay. So you will be able to decide where you are going to go from there on in. Now, the last question I will ask after the healing's done and so forth. Somebody got healing there. Who was healed?
I was using. Well, I prefer to use it on multiple, but I can't. Stupid. There we go. I can restore hit points with my healer's kit. To Sylvia, I gave 16 hit points
All right,
by
Sylvia.
rolling a 1.
All right.
Yeah, I already added it back in.
Okay. Very good.
I'll do the same to Apotus.
All right, so he'll get 16 as well.
No, he'll get 17.
Otis, you gain 17 points.
Thank you, Vlad.
Healer's
And
kit. Amazing.
you will need to decide where you're going to go or what you're going to observe.
He's gonna dump 10 lay on hands on himself too.
All right. As you pass the arrow slits, walking back and forth in this hallway, which, by the way, is a vaulted hallway. It's not arched round. It's vaulted like this. It's a, pointed arch. It's vaulted up to a ceiling that goes up about 15 feet above you. It's higher than normal for a vaulted ceiling. And as you pass back and forth in front of these arrow slits, which obviously the flame skulls could have used to rain terror down on you on the floor below, so it's probably a good thing that you eliminated them before going down below these arrow slits, or going down into the temple, which is 30 feet below the floor you're on right now. As you pass it, you can hear a distant sound just dimly through the arrow slits as you go past. That is rather like somebody snickering at you.
I go straight to the arrow slit.
You don't see anything down on the floor. You can see below you, down on it. I'll open up a little bit of a spot here so you can actually see what you're looking at. But you don't see anything on the floor below you when you look through. You would see about to there, I would say, because you've got dark vision, which also Sylvia does. So the two of you would be able to see kind of this way on the floor. You'd see an area like that, but you don't see anything down below you on the floor. You just hear from somewhere down this snickering. Sounds almost, and sometimes it sounds almost like a fox yipping, and at other times it sounds like an old man snickering. Very strange sound.
Can I walk?
Do I recognize the voice?
I'm going to not even have you roll. In this case, I'm going to say no. This is like nothing that Dirok has ever encountered before.
Okay.
Can I go to the window slit and use my eye patch of death perception to look?
You can look down. You do not see any undead on the floor, anything of that sort. It just looks empty.
Sorry. When I'm looking through the arrow slit, can I look up at all to see anything above? You said there's nothing below, but
there's
can I look?
nothing in that entire triangle open that I've done there. Up, down.
Okay.
There is nothing that you can see any of the three of you. They're with or without the eye patch, with or without dark vision. You see nothing on the floor below you, but you can clearly, from kind of down on the floor and off to your left as you're looking out there, in other words, towards the north, you hear this light snickering coming. But like I said, at times it sounds like an old man kind of cackling, like and then again, as he cackles, it dissolves into like sounding like the yipping A fox?
My God, it's the Skull Kid.
Okay, and with that, we will leave it for tonight. You have more of the terrible Temple of Death ahead of you.
Oh, it is.
Interesting place.
Yeah.
And Dirok
Okay.
now has a congregation.
Yes.
He now has
In 2
strong
games.
soldiers. Yeah.
He's done more for followers than Shaman ever did.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your fun and games tonight. I appreciate it. And I hope the others of you out there will start your own game this week and enjoy a little bit of D&D that you create on your own. It's a great game to play with the family. So grab yourself a free book off the Wizards site to get the basics going, and you can start yourself a game. It's real easy to do. And we will see you next week in the Temple of Death. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.